right here at the top of the show, I want to welcome everybody back to the D Weekly. This is our third episode running this will be from the 10th of May to the 16th of May, where these news links are coming from. Right here at the top, I want to remind you to please hit like, hit subscribe. Let's get more news. Maybe the show can be longer. Maybe it can grow. I don't know. I like where it's going. I'm liking the vibe. Right here at the top of the show, we're going to take a minute to do a Logos Learn Up. Okay. What's a Logos Learn Up, you ask? What's Logos, you ask? What's going on? So Logos is a tech stack. Waku, Nomos, and Codex. That tech stack is designed to give your sovereignty back on the internet. Your privacy, your sovereignty, and your ability to just hang out and be on the internet in a way so that not everybody is poking and prodding and peering into the things that you want to do on the internet, right? One of the protocols that's built up into that tech stack of Logos is called Waku, okay? Decentralized chat, decentralized messaging, ethereal messaging, if you will. Well, Waku had a highlight this week. It has deprecated the sync and the local Merkle tree. What does that mean? Why is that important to you listening? If you're tech savvy, this is what it means. There was a previous version of an RLN, which is a rate limiting contract that required every Waku node to locally construct and maintain a Merkle tree using every single registration event emitted by the smart contract. That's a lot. No more. This led to increased startup times for new nodes joining the network as they had to parse through the entire chain history, starting with the block where the contract was first deployed. A verified up-to-date Merkle root is necessary to verify rate-limiting network proofs attached to each message sent over the Waku network. This ensures spam protection in a trustless and decentralized manner, right? The entire tree, more or less, is necessary to actually generate the proof attached to each message. This was especially cumbersome for light clients like JS Waku, JavaScript, running in the browser. We had tried solutions to get around this, ergo service nodes providing the data necessary for a specific client to generate a proof. But these had other drawbacks, and ultimately a reworking was necessary. So one of the features of this new RLN contract is on-chain updating of the Merkle tree as new memberships are created. And it adds additional gas costs. We had to deploy a contract on an L2 was necessary. However, it greatly improved the user experience for both node operators and light clients, right? So, hey, huge update for Waku, huge highlight. You know, they get that Merkle tree attached to a blockchain, so maybe a new node can spin up really quick and get the state of what's going on. A little golf clap to the team working at Waku. If you're more interested in joining some of the projects at Logos, click the links in the description. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of D Weekly, where you get your crypto with D Weekly. I hope you have your coffee ready. Right? Got your nice cup of coffee. Got yourself, maybe there's that new wave of people drinking like mushroom coffee. I don't know what that's about. Sounds disgusting, quite actually, but hey, I've been wrong about other things. So real quick, if you could smash the like button, right? Even ding the bell if you like. If you've been liking these quick news recaps to just give you a little taste of what happened in crypto in about 15 to 20 minutes, then please subscribe. Also, this is new. One of the first 1,000 subscribers to this channel will, I repeat, absolutely will win $1,000 out of my pocket. Don't tell my fiance. She would rather have that go to wedding planning. But she don't know won't hurt her. Anyways, let's get into it. We're going to have a regulation rewind. We'll talk about what Congress is planning here in the U.S. with stablecoins. We also will talk about what's going on in the U.K. All right, there's some stuff going on in the U.K. There's also some global news going on in Hong Kong. There's a virtual asset platform that's launching. That's a pretty big deal for Hong Kong, considering not too long ago they were thinking about banning crypto. In Nigeria, there's things going on. We're going to discuss that. Basically, they freed the Binance executive, but they're having a huge difficulty with outlining their taxes over there in Nigeria. A little bit of text advancements. Polygon Agglayer, all right, has added some functionality to Polygon, and also Uniswap tested some gasless transactions. I love it. A little bit of a pulse on the market. Nothing is quite as exciting as what happened last week, but or at least till we get that major moon. But we do see some price increases in the majors. We'll talk a little bit about adoption as always. PayPal dominating the adoption news. Obviously, they're making moves, right? PayPal wants to get in on the transaction game. Okay. Obviously, that's their whole shtick. Obviously. And also, we'll try to look ahead at some things that we can look forward to. So let's get into it. So it looks like stable coins are about to go mainstream. They already are mainstream, but let's get some bullet points here. They're nearing mainstream adoption in the US because of their regulations is about to come through. They're just, so for those of you that don't know, stable coins are just digital currencies that are pegged to traditional assets like the dollar, like gold. The stable coins that are most popular are USDT, which is Tether, USDC, which is just a digital dollar, right? The market cap of stablecoins, get this, has risen from $20 billion in 2020 to $246 billion in May of 2025. All right. Now, to put this in perspective, most of the stable coins are just these pegged coins, right? And you get a group of extremely wealthy people together that are cash rich, all right? And they back up every single stable coin with a dollar, right? But what they're actually looking at is trying to get down on that sweet, sweet transaction fee. Everybody's using the Superman 3 plan. Set something up, get transaction fees to start rolling through and start stacking up them dollar bills in transaction fees, right? Or that crypto. So there's a clear difference I want to actually, put out here is a difference between a stable coin and regular cryptocurrencies. Stable coins are pegged to other assets by definition. All right. So both the House Bill Stablecoin Transparency and Accountability for a Better Ledger Economy Act and the Senate bill, the Guiding and Establishing National Innovation for U.S. Stablecoins Act, one called the Stable Act and the other called the Genius Act. Do they just, is this part of the gig? You just think of a word and then make other fancy words fit into that acronym. I guess that's what it is whenever you're a regulator. Like, ooh, let's make a new bill for farmers and we're going to call it the Plow Act. The People's Ledger. I'm not good. Obviously, I can't be a politician. So there has been a bit of a backlash lately. There's some people that are rallying against any and all things crypto because the Trump administration has pretty much commandeered the crypto zeitgeist for the time being. Moving on and a little bit of not too big of a deal of news, but something that a lot of people saw coming is that the SEC has delayed the decision on in-kind redemptions of Ether and ETF staking. They've delayed it to June, right? Which is no different. It's not a tactic. It's not really political. That they just kind of delay things when they need more time to make a decision, and that's kind of how it works. So if you were looking forward to that decision and you had your finger on the mouse of like, oh no, I can't wait to do some trading or that, well, you got to wait a little bit longer. And lastly, the UK FCA discussion paper has proposed crypto framework is seeking industry feedback, right? All right, let's keep it moving to some global news affecting people around the globe. This quick one is just a bullet point that Hashkey and OSL have secured the first retail virtual asset trading platform licenses under the new VASP regime. So it looks like Hong Kong is baby stepping towards getting more active in trading crypto. In Nigeria, the courts have ordered the release of Binance executive. Those charges have been dropped. A Nigerian court on Wednesday ordered the release of Binance executive Tigran Gambarian. Oh man, I'm so sorry, dude. I didn't think I got that right. After the government dropped money laundering charges against him to allow him to get medical treatment abroad, Nigeria's Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC, withdrew the case against Gambarian, a U.S. citizen and head of financial crime compliance at Binance, in open court in capital city Abuja, a lawyer for the EFCC said on Wednesday. Okay, so he was getting tried for money laundering. He beat the case. He wasn't money laundering. And judging by this picture I'm looking at of the guy, he looks really upset that he has been in jail. Like he probably was actually innocent. And he was like, damn, I just shouldn't have been hanging out with those fellas, man. That got me in this shit. Got me all tied up in this. All right. Let's keep it on moving. Let's talk about some tech advancements, right? Polygon Agglayer program launches, and it aims to merge ZK EVM, proof of stake, and supernets into one Ethereum secured liquidity layer. Ooh, right? A liquidity layer, a layer of liquidity. Everybody love it, a liquidity. I mean, everybody like to get a little wet. You know? TLDR, Agglayer breakout program projects have made plans to airdrop a portion of these native token supply to POL stakers, right? So if you're staking Paul, you're going to get a little crypto, right? This program provides funding to help founders move fast and bootstrap network effects around the Agglayer, right? So this is in big bold. Successful growth layer, it may get an airdrop from 5 to 15% of the native token supply to POL stakers to incentivize validation of transactions on the Agglayer, right? So if you are staking Paul and you want to get in on this action, you might want to look into this. The article will definitely be posted in the links if you want to start staking your Polygon, right? And let's talk about some price movements, right? There's going to be one non-major in this price update, though. I just got to warn you because it had quite a jump, and it is popular enough to be like a sub-major, right? So let's talk Bitcoin. On the 10th of May, we were at 102,973. 16th of May, 6 days later, we were at $104,000, $104,094. That'll be a 2.7% increase in a week. So not too shabby, coming off of what was the 9% increase last week and then 5% before that. So you accumulate those increases, and Bitcoin's having a good spring. Ethereum went from 2,335 to 2,418. That is a 3.5% increase. Matic went from 94 cents to $1.13, which happens to be a 20.2% increase. So if you were trading that old Matic, you hit a lick if you time that right. Again, it's been a great spring for crypto so far. There's typically hashtag not investment advice. There's typically like a late spring pullback, right? So don't be surprised if that happens. I'm just saying I don't know why. It just is. If you go look at the seasonality of some of the Bitcoin charts, you'll see like, hey, in spring we're gonna taper back a little bit. So don't be surprised. In some adoption news, PayPal is really trying to spur its user base for USD PY, or is it no PY USD Pay USD? So users will receive 3.7% annually in an APR, and that's just by holding and using PYUSD. So holding PYUSD. So it's definitely not transaction PYUSD. If everybody was getting 3.7 of every transaction, then I'm pretty sure it'd be the most popular token overnight. But this is just for holding, right? And some of the things they say are, hey, it's commerce ready. You can accrue these rewards daily. You can receive these rewards monthly. It's really up to you. But they're obviously trying to get people into their stable coin. We'll see if it's yet to take off. Their strategy is not really too clear. But we'll see if it takes off. In other news, Shopify. Yes, that Shopify has rolled out Solana Pay plugin. That's right. If you have a store on Shopify, now you can probably take any crypto you want. And now it's even easier to have a pay with Solana button just embedded right there at the checkout for your customers that do have Solana and they do want to pay with Solana. Now they can just click, boom, pay, right? And so what we are seeing, and this is also, there's some news with Steak and Shake in the US. Steak and Shake is one of the fastest growing hamburger chains in the US right now. I have never had it, but I hear it's very delicious. But just today, they launched accepting Bitcoin payments nationwide, and they would be Bitcoin Lightning payments. So be looking forward to the video. Jesse's actually going to go see what it's like. Do you have to download a special app, or can you just send your Bitcoin? We'll see. We know there's both styles of options when it comes to the Lightning Network. So we'll see exactly how they've implemented it. But that's a pretty big deal, right? But let's pump our brakes just a little bit, everyone. We've seen this before. All right. Every single time there's a big bull cycle, there's some store out there that is going to start accepting Bitcoin or start accepting crypto. And they make a big, fanfare out of it. And then it ultimately leads to not really going anywhere because there's a drawback in the market and people don't want to spend, or, there's some reason why people won't do it. Right. So just know that for now, until further notice, it's fanfare. In fact, when people accepting Bitcoin stops becoming a big deal, that's when we've hit like super hyper saturated adoption, right? Or at least in my opinion. So there are some things that you can look forward to. On May 20th, which is around the corner, there's a Fed roundtable on stablecoin supervision again, right? So obviously, the stablecoin market is where all the regulation is trying to go, because that seems like the easiest thing to capture regulatorily, right? If you got 15 super wealthy guys who's sitting on, I don't know, $300 billion in cash, and they just want to peg that to a crypto and then take percentages of the transaction fees, that's an obvious game, right? How it's going to be regulated, well, that's on the regulators, right? And of course, on June 3rd, we've got the decision on the ETH ETF, the in kind and the spot trading, right? So set your alerts, and because volatility loves deadlines, am I right? So, real quick, we had some regulatory news. We had some global news, some tech advancements for Solana and Matic and Polygon. Sorry, Uniswap and Polygon. And yeah, thank you guys for listening to another week of the Weekly. I hope it didn't take up too much of your time. I hope you enjoyed what you heard. Remember, regulators write rules. Devs are going to ship that code. Adoption is going to march on, right? So go ahead and hit subscribe. In the comments, if you want to drop your hottest price target, and I'll say if you're close or not by the next Friday when you hear this. But hey, got a lot brewing in the news. Seems to only be stablecoin news. All right. We'll see if I can get us more of a variety going into next week. Play the outro.